The day I found the tracker, I wasn't even supposed to be near the ship. I had stopped at Vega Station for refueling, a routine stop, boring. Quiet, perfect for someone like me who preferred to keep a low profile after the whole incident on Hellion Prime. My ship, the Wren, was docked in Bay 14, humming gently as the systems cooled. Nothing seemed out of place, until I crouched to check a coolant leak and saw it, a small, black, polished object the size of a fingernail, magnetically clamped to my underhull. A tracker, not civilian tech, not pirate tech. This was military-grade alien intelligence. I knew because I had dismantled something like it before. When I was still enlisted, I didn't panic. Humans don't panic. We improvise, and improvisation has saved my life more times than I can count. I detached it carefully and rolled it in my palm, studying the faintly glowing sigils. It would activate the moment it reconnected to long-range comms. If I removed it and kept it on me, they'd know I found it. If I destroyed it, they'd know that too. But if I sent it far, far away, well, that was another story. So I boarded the Wren, locked coordinates to Mars, and shot the tracker out of the torpedo chute like a slingshot pebble. A perfect, tiny beacon soaring to a dead red world in a direction no one would expect. I laughed. "Let's see if you like desserts," I muttered. I thought that was the end of it. Oh, how wrong I was. The call 6 hours into deep space, with Vega shrinking into a star behind me. My console flickered violently blue static, distortions, then a cold. Reptilian slit pupil. I filled the entire HOLO screen. My heartbeat, STUTTERED. No identification codes. No translation protocol. No introduction. Just a voice that sounded like crushed stone dragged across metal. "Human, you have interfered with the hunt." The temperature on my ship dropped. The lights dimmed. My AI, Astra, flickered uncertainly. I swallowed. If someone's tracking me, that's illegal in 9 systems. So tell your stalker too. The voice cut me off with a low, rattling growl. "You moved our marking beacon. This is punishable by extinction." Extinction, not yours. The creature leaned closer. "Your species." Every muscle in my body clenched. This wasn't pirate tech. Not military intelligence. Not even a sovereignty spy beacon. I had stolen tech from the Catha Dominion, species so ancient that most civilizations didn't mention them except in myths. They were called the not because they hunted the dead, but because they hunted until everything was dead, and apparently one of them had tagged me. "Hold on," I said quickly, forcing calm. "I don't know anything about your beacon. I found something stuck under my hull," and the creature hissed so loudly the holoscreen vibrated. "You sent our property to a dead rock. You attempted to mislead the Catha. Its pupils constricted. The punishment is reclaiming your skull." "Okay, first of all," I snapped, "my skull is very attached to me. Second, maybe don't hide illegal trackers on innocent people's ships." The creature paused, then it laughed. A low, chilling, clicking laugh. Innocent. Its head tilted. "Human. You were marked because you killed one of us." My throat tightened. No, that was impossible. I'd never fought a Catha, never even seen one in person, unless... My blood ran ice cold. Hellion Prime, the ambush. The invisible thing that ripped apart half a platoon before I torched it with plasma fire. "No way," I whispered. "Yes," the Catha said. "You slew a youngling on its first hunt." "Youngling. That thing had been 3 meters tall, invisible, nearly invincible. You call that a youngling? Barely hatched, it hissed. Oh, fantastic, I muttered. Your infants are murder lizards. The threat the Cather leaned closer, until its scales were visible like obsidian. Plates, we will collect you. Slowly, publicly. The galaxy will remember what happens to those who interfere with our hunt. The holoscreen flared, showing my ship from the outside, which meant they already had visual. A second angle appeared. Then a third dot, dozens. They weren't watching me from one ship. They were watching me from a fleet. I felt Astra trembling through the speakers. Captain, she whispered, my sensors detect 13 war signatures. They match. Nothing in our database. Of course they don't, I muttered. Because they shouldn't exist. The Cather's claws tapped the screen. You have 1 hour to surrender. Fail, and your home world burns. The feed cut. My cockpit went silent. My pulse did not. Humans do not Rooney-paste the deck. Surrender meant torture. Running meant they'd chase Earth. So a third option remained. The human option, a stupid, reckless, suicidal option. Fight back, not with weapons, not with fleets, but with what humans have that almost no species does. Creativity, all right, I said, breathing hard. Astra, pull up the trajectory of the beacon. It is en route to Mars, she confirmed. Arriving in 29 hours. Good, I grinned. Because we're going to make them think I didn't send it to Mars. Astra paused. Captain, we'll forge a signal echo. Make it look like the beacon was launched to a different destination. Astra caught on. You want to mislead a Dominion warfleet? Exactly. I cracked my knuckles. And then we ambush their ambush. The human trick-human deception isn't about being clever. It's about being unpredictable. So, instead of faking a trajectory to a distant star, which they'd expect high-faked a near jump, something only a human would think of, we sent a forged beacon reading to the rings of Saturn. A Cather would never assume a prey species would hide something closer. They would overshoot, spread wide, search the stars. We made the false echo bright, frantic, stupid, exactly how they viewed humanity. Then we hid the wren in a magnetic shadow behind an asteroid. Silent, waiting. Astra dimmed all systems. I adjusted the plasma torches. One chance, I whispered. The fleet arrived like a storm. 13 Cather dreadnoughts, each the size of cities. They scanned, roared, sliced space with energy sweeps. Then, just as planned, the forged beacon fooled them. The flagship roared. The marker is near the gas giant. Their entire fleet lit up and accelerated toward Saturn at full burn, leaving one ship behind, a smaller hunter, barely shielded, perfect. Now, I shouted. Astra ignited the thrusters. We shot behind the Hunter-class ship, torches blazing, slicing into its cumray before it detected us. A quick roll, a plasma surge, and its engines detonated. The ship imploded silently before it died. Astra intercepted one last signal fragment, beacon found on Mars. They had realized the truth, but it was too late. Their only communicator was gone. The fleet was off course. Their hunt was broken. Cather law, according to captured xenological notes, was absolute. If a hunt fails, the hunters must end themselves for dishonor. Astra spoke softly. Captain, their ships are turning inward. I stared at the distant flashes. 1, 2, 13. The Cathara fleet destroyed itself in ritual silence. I exhaled, deep, slow, shaking. It's over, Astra whispered. For now, I corrected. But humans just beat the unbeatable hunt species with a broken beacon and a lie. I sat back in my chair. Send a message to Earth Command. Mark it classified. And Astra. Yes, Captain. Add a note. I smiled grimly. Humans aren't prey.